Sorry, you got freezing cold taked, which is good.
Yes, and I want to start by saying that. I said on yesterday's show, after trading for Mikal Bridges, there was no chance the Knicks were going to re-sign OG Anunoby. And hand up, I was flat out wrong. They agreed to a massive $200+ million extension, and Anunoby's back. The Knicks have Mikal Bridges. The Nova Knicks are there in full force. Koby Altman has continually said we are not breaking up the core four, but seeing how some of the other teams in the East have operated thus far this offseason, do you expect him to stick to that mantra, or does he have to change his approach this offseason, knowing how some of the other teams in the East have gotten significantly better over the last week and a half?
The only person that you could trade is Darius because Jared Allen is off the table, and you're not going to trade Evan Mobley. So, they're probably going to run it back and look to build around those guys.
It feels like, guys, that they're in a really tough spot because they're not as good as some of these other teams. But their path to getting better, I just don't see what it is. Darius Garland's trade value is down. You're not going to trade Mobley. You could trade Jared Allen, but are you going to get a better player than him? Maybe a better fit, but not a better player.
That's not an option, so.
You're obviously not going to trade Donovan Mitchell if he's willing to stay. You have no other trade assets. You can't get into free agency because you're up against the cap. But you're clearly behind at least 2, 3, maybe 4 teams in this conference. So how – so it's a tough spot, Jason.
You got to hope that Kenny Atkinson comes in here with a great offensive plan that really gets these guys to – shine in a better
You may
light.
be right. Their hope is that their biggest hope might just be that Kenny Atkinson's the next top coach.
It's the Cavs hitting home runs like the Guardians. Like, you got to get better from within.
Right.
And I'm not a big fan of this team made this move, we have to make this move. That's true. You worry about your own roster. Now, you do have to look at who you're competing against and the positions and that sort of thing. But, like, I was surprised the Knicks gave up everything they gave up for Bridges. That was their Donovan trade. Who would you rather have, Donovan or Bridges? I'll take Donovan.
Yeah, but the only obviously you'd rather have Donovan, Jason. But what I would argue is that the team around Bridges is already a borderline championship contender.
It's a very good team around.
They have a way better roster than the Cavs do, don't they?
I just think that people, and I don't know, I would say the Knicks are now out of trade at. Like, they went all in.
Right.
And the Cavs went all in on Donovan. And once you go all in, you're really all in. And it doesn't leave a lot left to be able to, unless you start breaking off really key pieces. And then you have to decide, are we really getting better?
Right.
Or are we just rearranging deck chairs? Does this truly make us a better team? And I'm still, I know what they're saying, and they're telling teams we're not breaking this up. We'll see. I'm still not convinced that's true.
Yeah.
It's still June. We're not even to July yet. So I think there's a lot of factors at play that some may be out of their control that they end up moving one of these pieces. But I don't think that you do it as a reaction to the Knicks trade. I think that's a terrible way to go about it. You look at your own roster and you make the best decisions for your team based on what you have.
And you also can't make a trade just to make a trade.
Right.
You got to make a trade that's going to make your team better.
And those are hard.
Yeah.
That's why they don't happen very often.
Right.
It's hard, especially when you're trading key pieces off your team.
Yeah.
Off a team that did advance to the second round, has had a moderate level of success the last couple of years. You have to. If you're running this back, you're counting on Darius bouncing back. Yep. Which again, a year ago at this time, everybody wanted Jared Allen run out of town.
Right.
And now everyone's like, you can't trade Jared Allen. Jared Allen's great. Well, look how much in a year, and you've already seen it out of Darius, so you know it's in there, and you're expecting growth out of Evan. You're expecting this team to internally, organically improve and get better.
Where do you guys right now today? Obviously, we got the whole offseason to go. Besides
fifth,
you got the Cavs fifth. You got the Cavs fifth.
Yeah, I just threw it.
Mike's got them fifth. You got them behind what? Boston, New York, Milwaukee, and Philly.
Correct. And technically today they'd be fourth, but Philly has a massive amount of cap space to spend, and I assume they're going to try to make a big splash. So technically right now I have them fourth.
But you think they'll be fifth?
Philly has a chance to catapult them with a free agent signing.
Jason?
I'm not a big Philly fan.
So you'd have Cavs fourth right now?
Boston.
I'm not a big Philly fan.
Knicks and Milwaukee?
Do you think the Pacer thing is real?
What about Orlando?
Orlando's coming.
Not yet.
What if Orlando gets a big-time point guard?
They might.
They
trade for Trae Young.
We're a couple weeks early on this. We have to see
a month from now.
Where's Jimmy Butler go? Where's Paul George go? does Kevin Durant stay in Phoenix? Does he come back east?
Right.
Like, let's let a little bit of this play out.
Rockets, if anything.
And see. Well, you never know. I mean, right now, for the sake of the argument, I would say 4th as well.
Okay.
I'll go up 4 too. I think the Pacer thing might be real though, because they scored.
They play fast and they score a ton of points.
Clip.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would be.
Ty, would you feel if they were
them.
4th if they had to face a healthy Giannis and lost in the first round of the playoffs? Or you say 4th because they made a run to the Eastern Conference Finals thanks to Milwaukee being hurt and then the Knicks literally falling apart in the playoffs injury-wise?
I see your point. Put them, the Cavs are 4, the Pacers are 5th.
So you're not buying into Indiana, Mike?
Or the 6th, excuse me.
I think I have them 6th. I mean, I have them just slightly below. They play an interesting, fast style, but I wouldn't say they're
but you got them ahead of Orlando.
Yes.
They're 6, 7. If you want to ask me tomorrow, maybe I'll think Orlando's better. I think Orlando has more.
I would
room
take
to
Orlando.
grow
I would
than
take
Indiana.
Orlando. I was really impressed with Orlando in that playoff series.
Yeah.
I'd take Orlando. Over
How close right now are the Knicks to Boston?
They have the pieces to match up on the wing. From a defensive standpoint, the question is, will Tibbs run everyone into the ground by the time the playoffs come around?
I would take New York over Boston.
Interesting.
Wait a
think
minute.
They're
now.
deeper,
Give me
right?
that. What's they?
I'm sorry. Did I
You
say
take Boston over New York?
Milwaukee. I meant Milwaukee.
Oh, Milwaukee over New
I
York.
would take New York
too.
over
I
Milwaukee.
Over
agree with
Milwaukee,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you
I
see
misspoke.
Porzingis just had surgery on his knee? He's going to be out 6 months.
Yes.
I don't know if it was his knee. I can't remember now what it was, but
It was that weirdest injury of all time that no one had ever heard of.
yeah, it was a weird. Yeah, I didn't. All right. Well, this is fascinating. I mean, the top of the Eastern Conference is pretty tough. And one thing you obviously can't account for, you don't know, with injuries.
Right.
Obviously, they played a huge role this past season. All right.